Discussed
Food and its consciousness.
food and its consciousness. Food affects consciousness. Hmm? Food affects consciousness. So we are going to discuss this topic further because actually um, this is very critical to building our consciousness. So there are two things which are very important. Even otherwise, whether Krishna consciousness or any consciousness. First is Sangha. First is association. Thank you. First is association. What kind of people we associate with. We become the kind of people we associate with. Right? If we associate with drunkards, what will we become? Drunkards. If we associate with devotees, we become devotees. So similarly, this consciousness. So one is the type of people we associate with that affects our consciousness. The other thing which normally people don't understand to that extent or don't give it too much importance is food. Why do we eat food? Huh? No. What is this? To enjoy. What is this? Who is saying to live only from tomorrow only khichdi? We want to eat food to enjoy, isn't it? We have so many senses we have. What all senses we want to? We are always, what are we doing from morning, from the time we get up till we sleep? What are we doing?
मजा आना चाहिए.
Trying to, मजा आना चाहिए. प्रयास कर रहे. We are trying, है ना? So morning till evening we are in this endeavor to enjoy. And actually one of the most important senses of our body is our tongue. What does the tongue do? Tongue does two things. Two things.
It helps us to taste.
It helps us to taste. Okay. And then, see, it came only from Mataji's. Prabhu's all simplicity. We don't know how to use tongue. So tongue vibrates. It can say anything. So two things tongue does. One is speaking.
And one is taste.
The other is tasting. Now the important thing is there is a connection between these two. What kind of things we speak depends on what kind of things we taste. Okay. Now how many of us in our lives have felt sometimes saying that, oh, I spoke so rudely or so rashly, I shouldn't have done it. Mataji in sleep also she is lifting her hand. No, I'm saying she's so conscious that, So all of us would have experienced, right? Sometimes we'll just say something and then we say, oh, why did I say this? I should have avoided it. If I could have avoided it, it would have been nice. Why we are not able to control? And how fast does it happen? How fast does this happen? Yeah, something like microseconds, nanoseconds. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Dhyayato vishayan pumsan sangas teshu vijayate, sangat sanjayate kama, kamat krodho vijayate, krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smriti bhramshat buddhinasho, buddhinashat pranashyati, as in there are some 8 steps that has to happen. All this happens in a fraction of a second. Dhyayato, from the time we see to the time we do something is fraction of a second. We can't control. It goes so fast. And then if you rewind, then you will have to slow rewind, right? And say, oh, okay, here. I should have stopped here. It's so fast. So this is somewhat like a machine actually. It is running like a machine. Okay, so this machine actually, if we have to control this, the most important thing that needs to be controlled is what we eat. We don't give too much importance to this because most of our focus is the food tasty, isn't it? Mataji will have experience. If you cook something, if it is not tasting nice, what will happen? Salt is not there, this is not there, that's not there, ding, 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 will go on. Taste, taste, taste. You're just living for taste. Actually, we don't understand. Then we tell kids also, saying, what do we tell kids? You have to eat vegetables. Hai na? fruits, vegetables, healthy food. What we eat? Junk. Don't say loudly. We eat junk. But we tell children saying that eat healthy food. What do we do? Weekends. Mataji's whole week I'm cooking. I'm tired. What do we do? Nowadays, previously we used to go outside. Now, Swiggy. So we are living actually mainly for eating. Simplistically put. I'm putting it in a very rough grass. We are living to eat. Actually, we have to eat to live. What is the difference? We have to eat to live versus we live to eat. These two words. What is eat to live means? Somebody is saying, क्यों खाना खाना है? नहीं मज़ा नहीं, मज़ा बाद में आएंगे. Like to be alive, to be able to do activities, we need energy. So eat to live means you eat just so that you can live. That is the actual purpose of eating. Purpose of eating is so that we can get energy to do activities. But what we do? We live to eat. Which means that I want to eat all. How many people here have how many cuisines you would have tasted? Right? As in Chinese, Russian, I don't know, Mexican, Italian. What else? 10. Prabhu is saying 10. Prabhu, can you tell? What all?
Chinese, Mexican, American.
Chinese, Mexican, American, just so that everybody hears. Then? Italian, French,
Jamaican.
अरे रे बाप रे, ये तो कहीं और जा रहा है. Okay, Jamaican, Thai, then Indian, थोड़ा वो भी ऐड कर देंगे. South Indian, North Indian, then Cambodian. अरे बाप रे. Okay, बहुत सारा है. So we can go on. What do? We go to the same restaurant again. Those who go to restaurant, you go to the same restaurant again, second time. I've done this for many years in my life. Me and my wife, every weekend we used to just go restaurant hunting. Which restaurant should we go this weekend? Right? But finally what we realized was, मज़ा नहीं आ रहा है. And of course, the whole consciousness. So when we eat this kind of food outside, so mothers, please, this is very, very important, right? Shastras gives so much emphasis on consciousness. Now, how many of us, when we grew up by eating food which was not cooked by our mothers? How many of us have eaten food which is cooked from restaurant here? When we grew up, when we were growing up, how many of us ate food which was not cooked at home? What is this? Nobody is lifting hands. Today what do we do?
Daily or weekends or months.
Hey, where is our mother? Ore Baba, you are in full danger. Your son is right here. Daily, huh? Okay, then you have to talk to your mother later.
Not daily.
Not daily. Weekends.
Months.
Month, now you are afraid she's going to whack you. Now you are changing your answer, smart boy. So basically, see, we want to eat. Now the whole idea is that this food is actually brings consciousness. Now what kind of consciousness? Food carries the consciousness of the person cooking. Number one, food carries the consciousness of the person cooking. Now when we talk about, so let's compare two kinds of cooking, right? One is mother cooking, the other is this person in the restaurant cooking. What are the differences? Can we just come up with some differences? What are the differences between mother cooking food at home versus some era guy cooking something in some restaurant which we like so much? What are the differences?
Mother cooks with love and affection.
Mother cooks with love and affection. And what about that guy? Paisa. More masala. He also wants masala in life, so he'll put more masala. What will happen to you? We will also go behind masala. So, see, he is working for making money. What consciousness will come into us? Isn't this what this world is all about now? Money is honey.
Money and honey are rhyming.
Ah, very good. Money and honey are rhyming. Right, so we are all living the consciousness of the people who are cooking. Please understand that. This is so subtle that we actually kind of ignore, because we are used to, from childhood we have been used to, theek hai chalta hai, once in a week, weekend, month, whatever, right? We go eat outside. Now we don't even know how this consciousness is affecting us. It is affecting the way we are thinking, the way we are acting, the way we are living. Right, so and previously, mothers, because they, they cook with love and affection. What is the love and affection mothers are saying? Child has to eat nicely. He has to become healthy. He has to do nice things. Now all of this is a bundle package. Right, this is not just food. It is food with consciousness. It is food with values. All of that is coming, right? Because you just don't feed the food and then the rest of the day you let the child do whatever he wants. No. So it's a package deal for the children. Right, now what is happening, we have taken off that package deal and we want only food for taste. Now it is grossly affecting the way we are living, the way we are thinking, what we want in life. Maza nahi aa raha hai, no happiness. That food cannot give us happiness. That happiness is so temporary. In fact, it results in subsequent stomach problems maybe, right, and other health problems. So we should understand this. See, Krishna is talking about this in Bhagavad Gita. Please understand how important this is, right? If it was not important, Krishna wouldn't have mentioned it in Bhagavad Gita, right? So in chapter 3, verse 13, right, this is what the topic was. Yagna shishtasino santo muchyante sarva kilbishai bhunjate te tvagam papam ye pachanti atma karanat. Now please hear attentively. The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins, because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin. Okay, let me repeat this. This is like loads of information in this. The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins. First. Okay. Second, why are they released from all kinds of sins? Because they eat food which is first offered for sacrifice. So food has to be offered for sacrifice. Then if you eat such food, then what happens? It releases from all kinds of sins. Okay. Now the second part, which is very important, others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment, which is this fulfilling the taste. Why do I cook? Because I want to enjoy the food that I am eating. This is called personal sense enjoyment. Krishna is saying personal sense enjoyment, which means my senses have to be happy. They have to enjoy. Right? Those who cook food for personal sense enjoyment eat only sin. Gobi Manchurian. 3 times a day we are eating. What is happening? What are we doing? What are we eating 3 times a day? Only sin. Please remember this. Only sin. What does sin result in? Why do we suffer? Why do we suffer in life? So we're going to discuss these topics. We suffer because of our sins. We suffer because of bad actions that we have done in the past. When we do good actions, what happens? It results in good reaction, which means that we will happy, good things happen to us in our life. When bad things happen to us in our life, that is because of bad things that we have done, sins that we have done. Now, Krishna is saying here that those who prepare food for sense enjoyment, they are eating only sin. So we are all intelligent people, isn't it? We are all intelligent. Is there anybody here who wants unhappiness, distress? Anybody? Nobody. Everybody wants happiness, correct? Nobody willingly wants to suffer, correct? That is intelligence. Now Krishna is saying, by this eating of this food, cooked for sense enjoyment, cooked for my taste buds, is going to result in suffering. Now why would I want to do something like this? Does it make sense? You're able to understand, right? So if we are cooking food which is going to create suffering for us, why would we want to eat such a food? Isn't it foolishness to do this? It's foolishness. Now, if suppose say you've done some puja at home, right? Say some Satyanarayana puja or some Ganesha puja, whatever, you've done some puja at home. How do you prepare food on those days? Sattvic. Now we'll talk about what this sattvic, rajasic, tamasic is. But generally, very simplistically, food we don't put onion, garlic, isn't it? We don't put onion, garlic. Even if we are using them on other days, we don't do all that. Then what do? We take that food and first we don't taste it. However it is cooked, we go and offer it to the Lord. Then we say Naivedya, Bhoga, whatever, in whatever language you want to go. We offer that is offered to the Lord, and then we consume that as prasadam. Why do we do this? Why not onion, garlic, maza karo on festivals also? Why we don't do this? We don't have answer. We do so many things without having answers. This is another very important thing, right? Please don't do anything without knowing why you're doing. Very important, because see, otherwise we don't have a reason to either follow it or not follow it. Isn't it? We should have a reason for whatever we are doing. So if you ask me saying why I am doing Krishna consciousness, I have a reason. I am not doing it blindly. And none of us here are doing it blindly. So every act actually has a reason. So like Prabhu said, actually it is sattvic food. Only food which is sattvic can be offered to the Lord. In puja, etc. we offer only sattvic food. We are also expected to eat sattvic food every day. We are expected to eat sattvic food. Why? Because when we eat sattvic food, our consciousness also becomes sattvic. Now what is this sattvic? What is sattvic? What does sattvic mean? So here in 17th chapter, 8th verse, 8th, 9th and 10th, 3 verses, Hare Krishna. 3 verses, Krishna is talking about food and its consciousness. So please hear, all the cooks. Ayuh sattva balarogya sukha priti vivardanaha rasya snigdha sthira hridya ahara satvika priyaha. Foods dear to those in the mode of goodness increase the duration of life. What is sattvic food supposed to do? Increase duration of life. Second, very, very important, purify one's existence. Krishna is talking about purifying one's existence. Okay. Third, gives strength. Why do we eat food? For strength. Fourth, health. Health. We also want to be healthy. I'll talk about this. Happiness. Did we know that food can give us happiness? Happiness and satisfaction. How many of us are not satisfied? Ye theek nahi hai, wo theek nahi hai, I want this, I want, this, I wanted this didn't happen, something else happened. We are not satisfied. So the food also drives these consciousness. So if we eat sattvic food, it is much easier for us to be satisfied. It is much easier for us to be happy. It is much easier for us to be healthy. Sorry. So it is much easier for us to be happy, for us to be satisfied, for us to be healthy. How many people are suffering with so many health problems? So Krishna talks about that in verse 9. Katvamala lavanat tyushna tikshna ruksha vidahinaha ahara rajasasyeshta dukkha shokha maya pradaha. Foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry and burning are dear to those in the mode of passion. Such foods cause distress, misery and disease. So what is the result of why do we have health problems? Because we eat rajasic food. Okay, rajasic food causes health problems. Krishna is saying distress, misery and disease. All these three are as a result of eating rajasic food. Okay, and then there is tamasic food. Yatha yamam gatarasam puti paryushitam chayat uchishtam api chamedyam bhojanam tamasapriyam. Okay, now this is another very important thing. Food prepared more than 3 hours before being eaten. Food that is tasteless, decomposed and putrid. Halsogirodu in Kannada. And food consisting of remnants and untouchable things. What does remnant mean? Somebody else has eaten it and we eat it. Take dabba, pass it around. This is food in the mode of ignorance. Food in the mode of ignorance. Okay. Remnants and untouchable things. Untouchable things are all non-vegetarian and all of that is untouchable. Is dear to those in the mode of darkness. Now what happens, based on the type of food we eat, we develop that kind of consciousness. If we eat food which is tamasic, we develop tamasic consciousness. Now tamasic consciousness means, how many of us like to sleep? Sleep. Like hours, you leave Sunday, no alarm, no cooking, no nothing. This is tamas. I wasted half of my life sleeping till I came into Krishna consciousness, right? So sleeping, we all like sleeping. Now that sleeping is because of tamas. This is increased when we eat tamasic food. Food prepared more than 3 hours. After, in how much time do we eat food after cooking? Mother is saying, I don't even know. Maybe yesterday. Fridge is there. Where is that? Tamasic. Food loses its consciousness if it eaten more than 3 hours later. Now Mataji will be thinking, all this is impractical. I can't do this. And don't come to the conclusion. Hold on to your horses, right? So food prepared more than 3 hours, food that is tasteless, okay, normally if it is gone then we don't eat. Food consisting of remnants, so please don't eat from others, what others have eaten. In the house it's okay, children, parents is okay, but adults, elders, don't eat. Consisting of remnants and untouchable things, this is in the mode of darkness, right? So this is one. Second is too bitter. So we want to, our taste buds, it has to be very spicy, it has to be very pungent. Now that results in distress, misery and disease. Okay, so sattvic food is very, very important to understand. Such foods are juicy. Now there is a lot of misconception about sattvic food. How many of us think ghee is not good for health? Ghee results in heart problems. How much ghee should we eat? Now is the real question. How much ghee should a grown-up person eat in a day?
2 to 3.
Don't fall off. 7 spoons. Yoga teacher is nothing is going to happen. No fat, no becoming fat, nothing. Please don't eat ghee mixed with dalda. This is where the problem is. Then it goes into, our doctor Saab is here, cholesterol, this, that. Then it goes into other problems. That's because it's not pure. Ghee is considered as nectar. Okay, ghee has the ability to go and correct organs inside. Okay, so ghee is so powerful, right? So things like this, right? So we don't have, so juicy, fatty. So fatty foods are required. It's not that we should not eat fatty foods, but the oil, the ghee with which it is prepared has to be pure. Then it is not bad for health. So then, which is why, and on the other end, we talk about organic food, organic farming, eat pure food. We talk about all that because otherwise, you can't, even you're thinking you're eating sattvic food, but you're actually possibly eating something else, right? So ingredients are important. Anyway, wholesome and pleasing to the heart. See, so these foods when eaten, right, they are the best for us both from a health perspective as well as consciousness perspective, both. Right? Now Krishna, now this is general information about, sattvic, rajasic and tamasic. And like I said, if you eat sattvic food, we become sattvic. So sattvic basically means generally, people who are satisfied, who are, not this busy is passion. We'll prepare with cleanliness. No, that is other important. The question that I asked first, right? What is the difference between cooking at home, my mother, and cooking? It's all dirty and something is mixed, and that pani puri, when you eat with all the dust on the road, only tastes good, right? When you eat inside the house, you prepare, it tastes ठीक नहीं है, थोड़ा dirt डालो, then it'll taste nice. So we are so used to contamination that when we are given pure stuff, we think this doesn't look okay. So interestingly, so first time we got some pure milk, A2 milk at home. So we are so used to Nandini milk here, everybody Nandini milk. We are so used to drinking Nandini, I don't call it milk. Nandini white liquid, whatever that is, which is called milk. We are so used to it that when I drank this, I said this doesn't, some smell is there. That smell has to be there. That is when you know that it is milk. When the smell is not there, then it is not milk. It is water with some, chalk powder or whatever it is.
Milk powder.
Milk powder. See, the boy is very intelligent. So, the point I'm making is when we eat pure stuff, we think, no, maybe something is wrong. That contaminated stuff is better because we are so used to eating that contaminated stuff, right? So that is why Krishna consciousness is lifestyle change. So I say Krishna consciousness is transformation, right? So it transforms the way we think, the way we do things, everything about us in life, right? And food is an integral part of that. Now, while we can talk about Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic, now very important part that Krishna is talking about here is food offered for sacrifice. This is central to Krishna consciousness. Okay? What is food offered for sacrifice? When we prepare food, first we have to prepare Sattvic food. That food has to be offered to Krishna. Simple, right? Prepare Sattvic food, offer that food to Krishna and consume that prasadam. Now, the advantage of this is food is not just Sattvic. It's not just Sattvic, it is absolutely Sattvic because we've cooked in a Sattvic way. Now, more importantly, that when it is offered as sacrifice. Okay, now before that, which is good, vegetarian or non-vegetarian? Vegetarian. Being vegetarian is good or non-vegetarian? Your son will answer. Vegetarian, I know. Why vegetarian is good? Okay, why non-vegetarian is not good? And Prabhu was talking about Cambodian and Jamaican. They eat pure vegetarian food. Why non-vegetarian food is not good? It has emotions. Animals. Okay, what happens? What is the problem? What is the problem with eating animals?
Because of sad.
He has to become brahmachari, please, Prabhu. Sad. Animals become sad. Then when we eat sad animals, then what happens? We also become sad. So when we eat non-vegetarian, we are killing animals, right? By killing animals, because we don't have the right or the ability to create animals, we can't kill them, right? And in Krishna's creation, all living entities are equal. He's saying Aham Bija Pradapita. He is the father of all living entities, irrespective if they are human beings or animals or even plants for that matter. So when we kill animals, but animals have a higher level of consciousness compared to plants, right? So for example, trees are standing now, do they get leg pain? Ekapada, yenasana. Some asana, you stand on one leg, for how long can we stand?
No, but trees are living things, but because they can breathe.
Because they can breathe. So trees can also breathe, animals can also breathe, we can also breathe. Now trees have a lower level of consciousness. Okay, animals have a higher level of consciousness. Humans are expected to be having the highest level of consciousness. Now if we eat animals, then we will become animal consciousness. Right? Anyway, so the point is that the animals also, we are not supposed to kill animals, so non-vegetarian is not good. Now what about plants and animals, plants and fruits? Plants, I mean vegetables and fruits. Are they also living or not living? So he said plants also breathe, right? So plants are also living. Now when we are killing those living beings, is that not sinful? Killing animals is sinful. Isn't killing plants sinful? Now how do we pluck anybody knows how we pluck, how do we get these vegetables which we buy from we have to pluck.
Trees.
You have to pluck them.
Plucked from the trees.
We are plucked from the trees, right? Now, when we are plucking from the trees, now there is pain, right? This is considered as a sinful activity. There is sin, but because the plants themselves have a very low level of consciousness, the sin is not as much as when we are killing animals. Like, see, for example, in a state law, if you kill an animal versus you kill a human being, what is the punishment given? Of course, today they don't give any punishment. You can bribe anything through. But generally, right, if you kill a human being, what is the punishment? Life, with life, right? You have to, if you kill somebody, you have to die. This is what the law is actually. But if you kill an animal, you are not killed. The person who killed that animal is not killed, right? Why? Because animals are considered to have a lower level of consciousness. Humans have the highest level of consciousness, animals next, and then plants. But they still have consciousness, they still have life. So we don't actually have the right to kill them, right? So which is why Krishna is saying that we eat only sin when we are preparing nice vegetarian food at home. We are still eating sin. Why? Because the sin, because of taking away those, fruits, vegetables, etc., that is still going to accrue to us. We are still part, we have to take up that sin. We can't say no. So when we offer this food to Krishna, Krishna takes away the sin. Krishna takes away the sin. Okay? So then that, and more importantly, not that just that sin goes out. Second thing is Krishna actually accepts. In the 9th chapter, Krishna says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. So if we offer to Krishna with love and affection, like mothers offer with love and affection to children, when we offer with love and affection to Krishna, Krishna accepts it. Krishna accepts it. When Krishna accepts it, anything linked with Krishna is spiritual. It's not connected to this material world. And anything associated with Krishna is perfectly pure. So when that food is accepted by Krishna, that food becomes completely pure. All the sins associated with that is gone. Right? And because Krishna has tasted, we become influenced by Krishna's purity and the spiritual. That is why we become more spiritual. Our consciousness changes. If you ask devotees who have been honoring only prasadam for many years, you can see that all these unnecessary things that affect most of us, problems, this, that, we keep our hand on our head every now and then. There's some problem to deal with. Devotees are so strong, they're so spiritual that they're not affected by all this. Why? Because they are regularly 3 times a day eating only Krishna prasadam. So eating this Krishna prasadam is the central theme of Krishna consciousness. In Krishna consciousness, we talk about 4 things generally. A, B, C, D. What is A? Association. If you associate with devotees, then we become devotees. If you associate with sattvic people, then this is why it is called Satta Sangha. Sat Sangha. So first is A, association. Second is books. If you don't have, please buy. If you have bought it and kept it as it is, please open and read. Prabhupada called it Bhagavad Gita as it is, not to be kept in the shelf. Right? We have to open and read it. So this is second, books. Bhagavad Gita, then we have Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So much of, beautiful literature is available, which will purify our consciousness. C is chanting. Chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And D, more importantly, is diet. Right? Which is eating Krishna prasadam. So these 4 things, when done on a regular basis, daily basis, it changes our consciousness. And when it changes our consciousness, we become more sattvic. When we become more sattvic, like it's saying in these words, we become satisfied, we become happy. Right? And so many other good effects happen. Of course, then healthy, all that. Right? So this is very important. So please consider this, right, in your, because if you are able to follow this, then it changes our life. Now the second thing is, we are all do what is called a Shraddha. Right? What is Shraddha? Offering to ancestors. Right? So when somebody dies, then we do what we call as this Shraddha ceremony. Right? Now this is done first year, then every year it is supposed to be done once. Why do we do this? Again, why questions? I have to know. We have to know answer. Why do we do this?
Our ancestors predicted the future.
No, but why? Why? Then we have to give every day, no? Why we give once in a year only?
For them, once in a year is one.
Once in a year is one day, yeah? Oh, okay. Intelligent answer, okay.
I heard some.
In our day, 24 hours, they'll have 6 days.
There are 6 days. Okay, they will not have 6 days. So there's a difference in time, which is correct. So ancestors go to what is called. So okay, this is a complicated stuff. Okay, so simplifying this. So when we do Shraddha, what is the most important part of the Shraddha ceremony is we call it as Pindadan. Okay, that rice ball. All of you, in whatever you would be doing, mostly the same thing, right? So some food which is offered, which is kept on Vishnu Pada, which is actually, offered to the Lord and then given to the ancestors. Now, why are we doing this? Why we are doing this is because this is prasadam. This is prasadam. When this prasadam is offered to the ancestors, now we might ask, where are these ancestors? How will they eat? You're not seeing them come and eat. Okay, this is all happening at a very subtle level, right? So there are demigods who are responsible to give the fruits of this, when descendants offer, the results go to the ancestors wherever they are. It is law of karma. It will work flawlessly. So when we eat this prasadam, this is actually Vishnu prasadam. That is the central subject of this, Shraddha ceremony is Vishnu prasadam. So when we give this Vishnu prasadam, when the ancestor, if suppose ancestors don't have a gross body, which means they are ghosts. What are ghosts? Do ghosts exist? I don't believe in ghosts. Doesn't matter whether we believe it or not. So ghosts exist. Okay, what are ghosts? Ghosts are basically Atma without a Deha, without a body.
Person.
Huh?
Person.
Persons who did some very bad activity. So then instead of getting another body, they have to remain without getting a body.
But
Unsatisfied, something, suicides, etc., right? So we don't have the right to actually take away our life. When we do that, we are punished by not giving a body. Okay, so ghosts exist. Now if in case some ancestor of ours has done some, something really bad and they are suffering, maybe they have a ghost form, or maybe they are in hell and they are suffering. Now when we do this Pindadan, when we offer this Vishnu Prasada, wherever they are, they get the benefit. And they are relieved from their suffering. That is the reason why we do this. So it is so powerful that it is followed as a practice, because we are, we don't just care for our loved ones only when they are there here. We have to care for them even after they have gone, because this is called Runa, this is obligation. There are 6 kinds of obligation, a different topic, but so this is one Pitru Runa, they say, this is obligation to our ancestors. So when we do this, we are making sure that wherever they are, whatever situation they are in, they get the benefit. How is that happening? Through Vishnu Prasadam. So this Prasadam is so powerful that it can actually give this kind of benefits. Now second thing, you do Satyanarayana Puja at your home. What is at the end of the puja? What do you hear? You hear story. What is main theme of the stories?
Prasadam, they are neglecting
Prasadam, they are neglecting Prasadam. Mother and daughter both neglect Prasadam. What happens then? Major mishap happens, right? So in all, in Vedic, you can say procedures or puja, whatever, right? So there's a lot of significance given to this Prasadam, food that is offered to the Lord, right? And if not honored, if dishonored, like it happens in this stories that are told or incidents that are told as part of Satyanarayana Puja, right? So that results in actually problem for us if you don't honor Prasadam, right? It's very important if you go to any puja, etc., especially Vishnu Prasadam, right? Please honor Vishnu Prasadam wherever you are, whatever state you are in. There is no condition that you have to be like this, like that, nothing. However, if somebody gives you Vishnu Prasadam, just take it. So this Vishnu Prasadam is so powerful actually, right? We want to do so many things for our benefit, for us to be happy, etc. Simplest thing that can be done is cook food, sattvic food, offer it to the Lord, consume, not just health, happiness, satisfaction like mentioned here, then we also start transcending this material world. Krishna tells Arjuna, Traigunya Visha Veda Nistraigunya Arjuna. The actually goal of life is what? Goal of life is to actually become devotees of Krishna. That is the goal of life. So to achieve this goal of life, the central, like I said, A, B, C, D, so food is an integral part of this process. So when we eat Krishna Prasadam, then we can become Krishna's devotee. Then you might ask, why becoming Krishna's devotee is the goal of life? That somebody else will answer in another class, or if you have time, we can answer. Okay, now food, about this, I've told many things, right? Do you have any questions? See this, please understand, when we are discussing these things, Bhagavad Gita is not for entertainment. Why we are reading Bhagavad Gita?
To know the history.
To know the history, not just to know history, to apply that history, to apply what Krishna has told. Krishna has given instructions in Bhagavad Gita. The idea of reading Bhagavad Gita is to actually implement these things, to apply these things in our life, right? So it's very important that when we are reading Bhagavad Gita, because so many people in India say, I have read Bhagavad Gita. If somebody's life has not changed, then they have not read Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is a book of transformation. If our lives have not changed, then we have never read Bhagavad Gita. Right? So we should understand an integral part of this whole instruction that Krishna is giving is about food. So we have heard it today. Now you have to now think about how will you go and apply this. Because if you don't apply this, then it's just a waste of time. Right? So the whole idea of hearing is that we try and apply. Of course, day 1 might be difficult, day 2 might be difficult, day 10, day 20. Don't think that everything has to happen like overnight. But you at least have to have a desire to apply these instructions in our life. Right? Now, what do you see as challenges? What do we see as challenges to be able to eat only Krishna Prasadam? Anybody thinks that it is difficult, can't do it? Otherwise, all of us should start doing it. Your son will make you do. He's already thinking. So what is the problem with following this? Prabhupada always says, what is the difficulty? It's so easy, isn't it? Just cook sattvic food, offer it to Krishna and eat. We're not saying that, you don't eat this, eat this, eat only khichdi every day. No. Whatever you want. Of course, initial stage we cook for ourselves, offer to Krishna. Later stages we cook for Krishna and then we think about Krishna, cook and then eat. Right? But that's a higher level of consciousness. We'll come to that, right? But at least first stage is we cook whatever we are cooking. Sattvic, offer it to Krishna and eat. What is the problem? I am asking this question because then you have to say what the problem is and then you figure out a solution to overcome that so that you can actually practice it. So when I came into Krishna consciousness, in my house, my mother was cooking onion and garlic. And by the way, this onion garlic thingy also, previously in houses that were called Brahmanas, and people who are called Brahmanas, of course, grossly misrepresented term, but people who are living a Vedic way of life, there is no question of onion garlic. This onion garlic is all later contamination that we brought into our own food habits, right? So I remember, when I was small, my mother never used to cook onion garlic. Somehow something happened and then, she started cooking using onion, not so much garlic, onion. When I came into Krishna consciousness, it was a big shock for my mother. Because I said, boss, either you cook without onion garlic, otherwise I'll figure out what I need. I'm not going to eat onion garlic. Why? Because Krishna is saying, I'm not going to take it lightly. So I said, either you cook or without onion garlic or I'll figure out. Dhamki de diya. Then my mother loves me. So what did she do? She stopped cooking onion garlic. In our house, nobody bothers, taste, waste, nothing. Everything is nice, tasty, more tasty possibly with onion garlic, without onion garlic. It's just a lot of mind block we have. Right? If you don't put this, and you should talk to other Matajis in Krishna consciousness who learn to make such tasty food without onion garlic. So please don't worry about taste. There are various ways to fix the taste that we think onion gives. Now, by the way, when you cook onion, are you happy or are you sad? Starts from there.
Yes.
So much we have to struggle. Why? Because we think that it adds flavor, taste to our food. See, we don't think. Actually, it's making us cry. If somebody else makes you cry, will you be happy?
No.
You'll go behind that person.
No.
But this onion is making you cry every day. Still you want to do that. Please think. So what are the challenges? Are we willing to switch? Diet. Whatever diet you want, you please do without onion garlic, offer to Krishna. Don't put Krishna on diet, but it's okay. For your sake, Krishna will accept your diet initially. It doesn't matter, no. As in, I eat diet. I eat vegetables before I'm on, what is that called? Naturopathy diet. Offer it to Krishna and eat. What does it matter? It doesn't matter. Just that we are saying prepare sattvic food, don't put onion garlic, offer it to Krishna and eat.
When we go out.
When we go out, now Mataji is speaking. When we go out, I will tell all the challenges. When we go out, when we go to our relative's house, functions, what do we do? We'll come to all that later. Okay? I will make it easy for you. Step 1, when you are at home, cook without onion garlic, offer it to Krishna and eat. Step 1. Easy. Easy. Your husbands will revolt, just say dhamki de do, bas. Khana hai to ye khao, nahi to no khana. No, I'm just joking. Don't tell them. It's gone. People said like this. No, my husband doesn't want to.
Some will not complain.
Some will not. See, she's experienced now. She's been doing it for some time. It's not very difficult. It's a mind block. So it's very easy and it's so good for us. And see, more importantly, all of you want, your children, you want them to, grow nicely, become sattvic, be nice human